Hey guys, it's Rebecca and I'm back in my craft room to show you my latest pop-up card creation, the Love Letters card. On the front it says sending you, and then when they open up it says L-O-V-E. Get it? Love letters. If you want to see how to make this pop-up card, keep watching for the tutorial and template. So here's what you need to get started with this project. You're going to need to print out the template. Now the template comes in two formats. It comes in a black and white version where you can color it yourself, or it also comes in the already colored version where you can just print it out and start making it. I've printed this out on white 65-pound cardstock, but really any white paper would do. Use what you have. You're gonna need a ruler, you're gonna need an X-Acto knife, and a cutting mat. Makes X-Acto knife cutting safer, but for the amount of cutting in this, you could probably get away without a mat. A scoring tool, and this is just a ball-headed scoring tool. If you don't have a scoring tool, you can always use the edge of a large paper clip like this one, a pair of scissors, and your favorite glue. I like this wrinkle-free glue stick, and I also like the zip dry scrapbook glue. Now the first step is to score, and you'll see on the key here all the dotted lines are where you're going to score. So on the card outside, what I'm going to do is place my ruler along this dotted line, and I'm going to show you how to use the paperclip scoring tool. I'm just lining my ruler up there, and then I'm just taking the paperclip and making an indentation in the paper. And this just helps when you get to the fold step so that you get nice, crisp folds. Now when scoring the inside of the card, these are all the pop-up elements. We have a bunch of these smaller dotted lines, and then these longer dotted lines that we're going to go ahead and score against. So I'm just going to start from the right and move to the left. So I'm just going to make those two small scores, then come up and get this longer score, then come back here, get these two short scores, my big middle seam score, these two short ones, medium, and then two more short ones. Now this sheet has the letters that we're going to cut out. There's no scoring on this one. And then if you come over to the last page, which is the envelope, we're going to go ahead and go do 4 score lines on here. I really like these colorful envelopes. They sort of set the tone for the receiver. You know, if you get this in your mailbox, this is definitely going to be the first card you open. So there's my 4 scores on the envelope. Now we're ready to go to the cutting phase. And to cut, we're just going to cut along all of the solid lines. I'm going to start with the envelope. And one tip I found is to go ahead and cut the outer square of the envelope first, and then come back in and cut those notches. And this love letter pop-up is a really kind of modern, I was inspired by the Lichtenstein pop art prints, kind of like a comic book style. These dots on the envelope are inspired by like a halftone pattern you would see in a comic book. And then of course the thought bubble to let them know that you're thinking of them. It's a fun and colorful way to let someone know that you love them. Now I'm going to come back in and cut these little triangles out. Like so. Nothing really beats a handmade gift because you pour a little bit of you into it. Now I'm going to set my scraps aside. I'm going to come in and cut out the letters, and I'll show you how I do this. I find it's easiest to sort of rough cut out the letter, and then you'll see the line, this blue bleed line. That's so you don't have to cut exactly on the black line. You can be a little rough with it and it's still gonna look great. So you see how I'm cutting that right on the blue. And this way with the bleed, you don't have to worry about any of the white paper showing up on your finished project. And you're gonna repeat this cutting for each of the letters. So there's our finished letter, and you can see that little bit of blue going all the way around. Now I've repeated that process for all the letters, thanks to the magic of television. I'm gonna step those aside. To cut the inside card, this is where we're gonna use our X-Acto knife, and we're just gonna start again from the right to the left, and we're just gonna cut all of these vertical solid lines. So I'm just gonna slice this first one and just be really controlled with this. You don't wanna come raging through. This is where the cutting mat really helps give you control with the X-Acto knife. Self-healing cutting mat is kind of a game changer if you've ever struggled to get an X-Acto knife to do what you want it to do. Try a cutting mat. Short lines here, and then this one last line. So there's all my slices going all the way through. Then we're going to come around and cut the rectangle out with the scissors. You could use the X-Acto knife for all of these bigger cuts. I just find that the scissors works faster. And then for our last page, it's pretty simple on this page. We're just going to cut around the outside of this rectangle. Alright, so that's the end of our cutting. So now you have the outside card, the inside card with our little slits, all of our little letters in the heart, and the envelope all cut out. Now we're going to start in on assembling and folding. Now I'm going to start folding with the inside card. Now this has all of our pop-up elements that will lift the letters off of the page. And you want to just kind of start easing these fold lines. I like to start by folding it in half. And then I take this middle part, and this is going to come out towards you. So I'm just folding along those crease lines. And I'm going to come in and get this lower part and just start gently getting those elements to fold out. Now this middle part to fold out. Just takes a little finesse to get the paper to start moving. So what you want to do is get it so that middle one starts going down like so. And then we're going to bring these elements forward, and I just pushed it from the back. So now those start to ease forward, and then the same thing for the bottom. So now you get it. Your pop-up element should look like that. And then once you have it eased, you should get this kind of W notch looking, and I just kind of give those a good little fingernail crease just to get them to lay flat. So now when you open, that's what's going to lift the letters off of the page. Now I'm going to take my letters and I'm going to stick them onto those smaller little pieces. Starting with the L, just going to flip it over, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this front piece here. Then take your letter, stick it on, and you want to just kind of pinch from the back so that your L is tight against that ledge. So, the next one is the heart. And I'm just going to do the same thing. Just go ahead and apply glue to the remaining 3 little spots. I'm going to take my heart, stick it onto that ledge, kind of pinch it from the back. And you can kind of tweak it, like I think I want my L just to slide over a little bit more, and since my glue stick's still wet. And then the V comes up down here. Just gonna reach around, pinch it into place, and I'm aligning the bottom of the V with that bottom crease. And then the last one is the E. And now that I got them all on there, I think I like it like that. So now you have your letters that are lifting up off of the page. I'm just gonna set those aside to dry for a minute. Then I'm gonna take my outer card, fold it over like so, give it a good crease. And this card is going to sit into this card. And then we're just gonna glue these panels in the front and the back together. So when you open it up, you get it. Now I like to apply the glue to this notched piece. That way there you don't get any glue in the windows. I'm just applying my glue stick around the edges, like so. Check your orientation, so that's my bottom. There's my glue side there. Just gonna stick that one in to the crease. Press it down, give it a good press. So now that's sticking together. Pull that back down. Now I'm going to glue here and attach the front. Press this down. Give it a good press. So now the front and the back are gluing together. Now, due to the thickness of the paper, you will get a little bit of white of that inner card sticking through. And I'm going to come along with my scissors and just give that a little cleanup cut, like so. There's your sending you love. Ta-da! Ta-da! Now we have on the back here, this is where you sign your name. This is so they know it's handmade. And you can write a message to them or a note there if you want it on the back. I'm gonna leave that open to dry while we work on the envelope. Now the envelope has 4 flaps that fold in on each other. Go ahead and turn it over. I'm going to fold in the bottom flap and then the side flaps and then the top flap, just to kind of get those folds warmed up. Then I'm going to bring in the 2 left and right flaps, and you'll see there's a little bit of shading on the template. That's a guide to tell you where to stick your glue. Then I'm going to take my glue stick, apply it there, then bring the lower flap up, give it a good press. Then I'm going to take my card, fold it shut, insert it with the fold down. That way there, if someone were to use a letter opener or whatnot, they're not going to damage the card. You would just apply your glue here to this shaded section, then fold it over, give it a good press, then flip it over, and this is where you would write the to address and place your stamp. Well, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and if you'd like to make more fun pop-up cards like these, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the thumbs up.